So are the Miami Dolphins that good? Are the Las Vegas Raiders that bad? And is there going to be a big quarterback controversy in Dallas? Well, we're going to see if we can answer those questions and many more as we get you ready for week 4 of our fantasy league and week 4 of all the action in the National Football League. It's time once again for Fantasy Football Fever, which starts right about now. And a pleasant good evening to all of you, or good morning, or good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this show. It's Fantasy Football Fever right now. It is 9:25 p.m. into Central Time Zone. It's 10:25 on the East Coast, 7:25 on the Pacific Coast, and wherever you're watching, however you're watching, thanks for joining us here at Fantasy Football Fever. Of course, I'm Tim McClellan. And I got my 4 buddies here. This guy over here, of course, the host of Hooked on Sports, Mr. John Flynn. How you doing, sir?
Hello, Timothy Richard McClellan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Well, after that big game last night, I don't know, but hey, first things first, Flynn. I gotta check out those lights again before the show. Mr. Flynn had these lights made up in his room. You gotta check it. Yeah, check this out, y'all. I think this may be something I may be doing for my room here. So, yeah, if you can just hit those lights there, it looks pretty neat here.
Yes. So I actually got these lights on Amazon Prime Day to take advantage of their sweet deals, and this was something I wanted to have for a while. So I recommended Tim to get this, and I'm getting someone in my family for this for Christmas. So
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, nice
yeah,
lighting there.
yeah, and it can be in a lot of different colors, but for the sake of the lighting, it's going to be my normal lighting. So that's where we are.
All right, there. Hey, we got our commissioner, John Natale. How you, buddy?
Feeling pretty good.
Feeling very good. Good to see you. And we got one of our fellow players, players on our fantasy league. We got the one and only Dino with us. How you doing, bro?
Good.
All
I
right,
already
good.
made some changes to my lineup this week.
Yes, I may have to make a couple here and there because I am still 0-3, and I think Andrew St. Clair is still 0-3. In fact, why don't we go ahead and jump into this here? Let me go ahead and activate my screen share here, and I know this thing goes a little slow for some of y'all here, but let's go ahead and take a look at the league scoreboard. Let's take a look at last week's scores right there.
If we can get them up. So yeah, and last week we spent a lot of time concerning the highly anticipated matchup between myself and Natali. So I'm Lamar the Merrier,
Yeah,
while
this
Natali
one,
is
this
Debo
one
time.
right here.
Yeah, look at the blasters.
Yeah,
They
this
blast
one
past
right here, the one I'm circling right here. This
Cowboys.
was, oh my gosh, look! I mean, look at that here.
Yeah,
That's
I'm just glad I wasn't facing either one of you this week.
because Natalia and I had the two highest point totals, and the only person Natalia would have lost to was me, but he faced me, so hence that's why he is 1-2 and I'm 3-0, and so I yeah
Bad
so
luck
I
with the
have
draw off the schedule there.
yeah so I have Lamar Jackson, best quarterback in fantasy. I have Saquon Barkley, best running back in fantasy. I have Stephon Diggs, best wide receiver in fantasy. I have Travis Kelce, the second best tight end in fantasy. So that's a big reason why I'm 3-0. And
Why did I give you the 5th pick in round 1?
I mean, I had strategies for anything, but But I mean, my first pick wasn't Saquon. It was Austin Eckler who had a subpar week.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding expectations, but
Mhm.
I knew I had to draft Saquon because I can't win fantasy championships without a good running back too, and that's what Saquon was for me preseason, and yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more. He's been dynamite. In fantasy, of course, he had the big touchdown run of the game last night. He had he had a few catches in the backfield, so I could not have asked any more from him so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a game in London this week. I think.
So yeah, we're gonna get to that in a little bit. So it's
Yeah,
it's an exciting time, and I know my Giants are gonna be there next week in 2 weeks when they take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. But
and
Bernie
look who's
unboxing says
watching.
hello, Tim.
And look who's watching again. My friend Brandy over in Oklahoma.
always a fan.
They
We
say,
appreciate my fan.
Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you. Oh, wait a minute, she is a wife. She's happily married. Hey, say hi to the hubby for me, Brandy. Say what? Say hello to the hubby, and y'all take care of. Thanks for watching here. Well, anyway, going back, going back to our sports from last week, Dino, he got his second win of the year. He took me down 131.3 to 101.16, which means I'm one of the two winless teams in our league. We had Casey taking down Nick 111.4 to 100.84. We had what's that?
Nick was 2-0, and that was his first loss of the season.
Yeah, and we had Adam taking down Irene by a close margin here, 109.48 to 105.24.
Adam's
And
first win of the season.
Adam's first win. And then Putnam, he is 3-0 now, and he won with a score of 121.78 to Andrew's 111.7, which was go ahead and say,
Mark Andrews gave him 2 touchdowns, and that was the difference in that matchup.
that's
Mark
right.
Andrews had over 100 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. That was the difference here.
And that sets up what will be pretty much our matchup of the week in our fantasy league. We're going to have Flynn's team,
Your
Lamar
Super
the
Bowl,
Marrier, versus.
huh?
It's going to be pretty big. Got Putnam against Flynn going up against each other right now. Right now, Flynn is projected at 156.5, and Putnam is projected at 138.6. So,
Yeah, it's a battle of unbeatens. The only 2 unbeatens left in our league.
And so that means after this coming week, there'll still only be one unbeaten team. Meanwhile, I got Natalie this week. He's projected at 143.5. I'm at 124.7. I
Yes.
do need to make a couple of changes here and there because I'm not quite sure about Carson Wentz because those Commanders are coming into Dallas this Sunday. We'll talk a little bit more about that here a little bit.
So, I mean, you only start one quarterback, and you have Russell Wilson and Carson Wentz, so he's most likely going to be on your bench.
Right. So yeah. I started Russell Wilson. Wentz is on the bench. So, but who knows? I could probably find someone else if there's a good one available. We got Adam going up against Nick this week, and right now Adam's projected total is 132.0. Nick is at 124.9. Of course, we mentioned the matchup of the week here. We got Natalie and Putnam going head to head. KC against Dino. Right now, Dino is 141.2 and KC at 133.2. And the battle of the, well, we're not going to go into that right now, but we'll just say there's going to be Irene versus Andrew, and Irene has the edge 143.6 to 137.6. So that is pretty much our upcoming week 4 matchups in our fantasy league.
So yeah, and good news for her. Tom Brady finally has a favorable matchup.
The Hurricane, right?
Well,
Oh, there is a hurricane coming in through that area. Is there?
Oh, it's
Is it
gonna
close
take
to
out
there?
Brady.
yeah, so the Bucks gonna be practicing at the Dolphins facility because the Hurricane Ian's not supposed to impact Miami, but it is supposed to impact the Gulf Coast areas, which is Tampa and Sarasota and the surrounding areas. So
Hating from the sideline, a flag on the play, like Julio with them.
yes. So our thoughts go out to those in Florida that are currently impacted right now by
Too bad she
Hurricane
loves
Ian.
Brady, huh?
Yeah. We gotta make sure Alex Putnam is okay. He's our Floridian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We gotta make sure
too.
he's out of harm's way.
I'm comfortable with my quarterback.
I left Florida 3 years ago.
Buffalo Bills quarterback.
Josh Allen,
They can do him.
the consensus #1 preseason quarterback. But
Yeah, but I digress on that one. But yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to pull myself out of a hole here. Of course, me and Andrew are both because we're both 0-3 after 3 weeks of competition here. Let's see here. Going into Flynn. I heard something. I came on the wire. I think it was yesterday or sometime earlier today. Myles Garrett, the great defender for the Browns, involved in a car accident. You know anything about that?
I mean, all I know is what I sent
It's
you.
non-threatening.
Yeah, it's non-threatening, but I think what they're looking at is whether or not he's going to be good to go on Sunday because the Browns are taking on the Falcons. But so I mean, obviously it was a tough situation, but we'll have to see how that comes up. So, I mean, hopefully he's away. Hopefully he won't have to miss time, and the Browns need him to be available because of where the Browns are in the standings and where they look going forward without Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's going to be curious because I mean, Myles Garrett, he may be kind of a dirty player, but he's a very good one. He's a very good defender, and get better soon, Myles. We're praying for you. Hopefully, you'll be able to make the game this week. And speaking of games, let's go into the predictions. But before we do, let's share a little bit of our some statistics from last week here, a little something that Flynn sent me before the show. So Flynn, go ahead and break this down for us if you would.
Yeah, so I looked at pickwatch.com, which is like a compilation of lists, of a compilation of expert predictions, in terms of who they pick straight up against the spread, and my straight up record of the season for the season is better than all the experts. So I'm 31-16-1 on the season after going 11-5 in what was a very difficult week to pick games. This week, I mean, Tim went 10-6 so with help from his Dallas Cowboys last night. He's now 27-20-1, while Natalie went 9-7. He's 26-21-1 straight up. But and in terms of against the spread, we all went 8-7-1 last week. So I'm still a game ahead of Tim and 3 games ahead of Natalie.
All right. Let's see if we're good. I think I had a pretty good week, and at least we all finished above 500 as far as the straight up picks are concerned. But it's kind of weird that we all finished dead even against the spread right there, 8-7-1 all the way down.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of different picks last week, both terms of the straight up and against the spread, but for the most part they balanced out pretty okay. I mean, we had a couple of solo picks each. We had so But it was gonna balance out some way or another. I mean, if the Giants did beat the Cowboys, it would have been a lot different for all of us. But Natalia and I picked our Giants, and Tim picked his Cowboys. But Tim's football team won. His fantasy team not so much.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's good to see my Cowboys win, but it's better to see a fantasy team win. So why don't we go ahead and dive into week 4 of the NFL? We are like almost right into. It'll be crossed over from September to October, where the weather is going to get a little bit cooler, but the action is going to get hotter. And speaking of a hot thing going on, we begin with the Thursday night game on Prime Video. Yes, it is going to be the undefeated Miami Dolphins going into Cincinnati to take on the Cincinnati Bengals.
With
And
Teddy
right
Bridgewater. Probably.
Joe Burrow
Maybe
and the Cincinnati
Bridgewater.
Bengals.
Well, if he's not cleared, that other quarterbacks, if he's not cleared for the concussion thing.
Yeah.
The concussion protocol. Well, anyway, it looks like the Bengals are picked by 4 over the Dolphins to open up week 4. So, Flynn, let's go ahead and get this thing going. What do you see here?
Yeah, I think I'm more concerned about the Dolphins defense because they were on the field for 90 snaps against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, and credit Miami for going 3-0, but I even though Cincinnati's offensive line is not great, they showed some signs of improvement. But I think this is a game where the Bengals will actually get themselves back on track against better competition here. So credit the Dolphins for beating the Bills. Nobody expected that to happen. But I think at home I'm going to take the Bengals. I think they have the advantage at quarterback, and I think that they're the fresher team. If this was a regular week, I would have thought otherwise, but the short week is the problem here. So I'll take the Bengals to win this game at home, and they'll cover the spread and win 28-23 over the Dolphins.
All right, then. Flynn, what do you say about this one?
Let's see. I think this one could kind of go either way. Joe Mixon is dealing with an injury, but I think he's going to be okay. The Bengals offense appears to be better right now, so I'm going to take them as well, 24-17.
All right, Dino, got a comment on this one?
31-24 Miami.
Oh, 31-24. 31-24. He is going with a visiting team, the Dolphins.
An upset special.
Yeah, I think that qualifies. I think it does.
All right, Tim. Unmute your mic, please.
It's my laptop. Well, anyway, I'm not going to be as daring as Dino is. Yeah, this may be kind of a rough one for the Dolphins. Yeah, Tua's had a really good time, but he's under concussion protocol, so we're not going to know his status until probably in about the next couple of days or so. But I think I will go ahead and take the Cincinnati Bengals with this one. Let's give a good score here. If I go 26-21, I'll take the Bengals, and they will cover it. They will cover that one right there. So with that, we are going to go to the first Sunday of October 2nd to be exact. And we have an interesting matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints over at the Mercedes over at Tottenham Hotspur. Oh, that's in London, England. Yeah, that's the London game that you were mentioning earlier. Yeah, so this is going to be it'll be 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Central, and it will be on NFL Network. And the Vikings will come into this one as 3-point favorites. So, Flynn, first London game of the year. What do you say?
So, yeah, I think Dennis Allen, giving him an A grade for his hire is turning out to be one of the coldest takes of the off season so far. The Saints have been one of the worst teams in the NFL over the first 2 weeks. Their offense is broken. They've not been able to get anything going on the ground, and the Saints are way too one dimensional offensively. Now the Vikings are a team that you can allow people to go up and down the field on them, but the Vikings have things going on. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. I think Justin Jefferson is going to have a huge game. I think he's going to have another 140-yard receiving game and a touchdown. I think the Vikings are better coached, and which something I didn't think was going to happen given my take on Dennis Allen. But I'll take the Vikings to win this game 24-14 over the Saints.
All righty then, Natalie, Vikings, Saints. Let's see.
This is one I was actually going back and forth on. I mean, hopefully Kamara will be cleared to play. They haven't been the same since, but in the end, I'm gonna agree with the spread. But I think the Saints are really gonna bounce back. They'll be at home, freshly rejuvenated, ready to go, ready for a bounce back. Give me the Saints 27-24.
Interesting. So we got Natalie going with the Saints, Flynn's going with the Vikings, and Dino is going with.
I'm going with the Vikings 21-17.
All right then, and well, I guess it looks like Natalie's going to be the lone wolf here because I got the Vikings going in. I mean, hopefully the gears are going to be clicking a little better for Cousins and Jefferson, and of course Cousins and Thielen. Those are pretty good quarterback receiver combinations there. I am going to go ahead and take the Vikings in this one. Give me the Vikings over the Saints in London, England by a score of 31-26.
Yeah, and also if the season comes down to tiebreakers between those two teams, what's the result of this game? It's going to come back and play a big role in the playoff scenarios.
That could be. Next matchup over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. We got the Falcons at home against the Cleveland Browns. Well, as you can see right there, this is pretty much going to be a snooze fest. The Browns are picked only 1.5, so it's almost a pick 'em, man.
Yeah, I think this is going. This was a tricky game to pick because you don't know what you're going to get from these teams on a given week. One they look good, one they look bad. So, but I think the Falcons are going to make this game interesting because they kept it close with the Saints, they kept it close with the Rams. They went into Seattle in a hostile environment and took down the Seahawks. Meanwhile, the Browns were able to fend off a tough Steelers team. In the end, but I'm gonna go with the team with the better offensive line and the better defense, and I know I like Marcus Mariota over Geno Smith, but I like Jacoby Brissett over Marcus Mariota in this one. I'll take the Browns to win this game 28-25 over the Falcons.
All right then, Natalie, what do you say here?
Yeah, this is pretty much the game on the schedule that I would consider the toilet bowl game. It's going to be very boring. No really big names here that make you scream. This game is going to be the lowest combined point total. I'm just going to take the team that's favored. Give me the Browns 17-14.
All right, what do you say, Dano?
17-14, Browns lose.
Ooh, he's got the
So
Falcons.
he's flying with the Falcons on this
we got the same score, just other separate teams here.
Yeah, this sounds like there might not be much offense in this one. Might not be a lot of action. I just wish we had a sound effect for a toilet flushing for like a toilet bowl game, you know. I'm I'm actually going to take the Browns in this one. 20-17. That sounds like a not big, but not too terrible. Not too terrible to score. 20-17. I'll take the Browns.
This next game is offense galore.
And this is my favorite game of the week coming up.
Oh, interesting one. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Baltimore Ravens. This is definitely going to be one to keep your eye on here, although I don't consider this my game of the week. But anyway, we got the Bills going into Baltimore as 3.5 point favorites. So, Flynn, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen against Lamar Jackson. You can argue they've been the two best quarterbacks in football over the course of the first 3 weeks of the season, and you've got fantastic offenses. You got Lamar Jackson playing at an unbelievable level in a walk year. So, but this is where I think that it's going to be tricky because the big issue for the Bills is winning close games. The Bills lost 6 games last year, all the regular season by less than one possession. The playoff loss against Kansas City last year was one possession, and loss against Miami was one possession. Everything else has been blowout victories for Buffalo. But I think the Bills even though preseason I had Baltimore winning this potential matchup, I just don't think their defense is the same without Wink Martindale. They allowed too many points. That they kept the Patriots in the game too long, and I think Josh Allen is going to eat them alive in the end. I'll take the Bills to win the game 31-28. So I'm going to take the Ravens with the points, but the Bills to win the game outright.
All right, Italic.
Yeah, this game I think is going to be offense galore. Both defenses I think are going to struggle. I could see both QBs throwing for 3 touchdown passes, maybe even 4. I think it's going to come down to maybe the last minute of the game, and I think it's going to come down in the end a game-winning field goal by Mr. Automatic. It's going to be a slugfest. Give me the Ravens 45-42.
Wow.
Upset special graphic.
Give me the.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that right there.
Yep. All right, Dino. Who you got?
Give me the Bills. Same score, but the Bills win.
45-42.
Wow.
Oh, he sees the slugfest also.
Oh boy. Well, I see a very high scoring game here, but I'm actually going to take the Ravens here, 38-35. I think
Split
Lamar
decision.
Jackson can keep us a little bit. So yeah, guess I got a split decision here with this game here because it's I mean if they air this game, well no because I got another game coming up at noon, so I'll probably have
Check
to
my
catch
listing to see what games are on the prairie in my area.
Yeah, you're probably getting Chargers Texans because you're in Texas.
I'm
That's
gonna
on
check.
CBS.
I'm gonna check right now and see. Well, I obviously get Seattle because I'm in the area. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let's
But
see.
yeah, this game, mark this game, y'all. Buffalo Bills at Baltimore Ravens. Mark it down. Make your picks. And once again, we always say, and I always keep forgetting to say it before we do this, we invite you at home. Make your picks along with us. See how you can predict these games like we are right here.
I am getting the Bills and the Ravens.
Yeah, we have a fantasy question to Tim
Oh, yes.
that's on the chat. So before we get into the rest of the games, I think
Yeah, let's
it's-
go
it-
ahead and we have a guy who watches us on Twitch here. Gil Don't Sell.
yes. So he's basically asking Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave now. I would personally take Garrett Wilson, and I don't care if he has a tough matchup against the Steelers on Sunday. Garrett Wilson is the engine that makes the Jets offense function. We saw that in the game against Cleveland. We saw that against Cincinnati. That Garrett Wilson is going to be a star in this league, and the Jets got a good one with the 10th overall pick. So I like Olave a lot. But I think that this week I think Garrett Wilson is going to be more reliant upon for offensive success.
I think there's a chance that Thomas might not start because he's questionable, so maybe he might be able to start him.
All right.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for that question. Anybody else is watching and has a fancy question, just go ahead and shoot one to us, and we'll see if we can answer to the best of our ability. In the meantime, going back
I'm
to
happy,
our
man.
picks.
Bills and the Ravens are my game of the week over here in my area.
Hey, lucky you.
I'm getting the Bills and the Ravens, and then the Broncos and the Raiders.
Interesting. Next, we have one of the longest rivalries. Well, let's just say it's an old new rivalry. It's the Dallas Cowboys at home against the Washington Commanders. Of course, it takes me back to the good old days of when it was the Cowboys against the Redskins. Oh my gosh, every time they met up each other back in the 70s and 80s, it was great. But it just doesn't have the same feel now. I guess because of the name change. Of course, it's Commanders now. But anyway,
probably more so the Eagles are probably more of the rivalry now.
Oh, absolutely. Well, anyway, in this classic decades-old matchup right now, Cowboys are picked by 3 over the Commanders. So, Flynn.
Yeah, I'm just concerned for Carson Wentz that after the beating he got last week against Philadelphia, nine sacks allowed by that offensive line. That's certainly unacceptable. So you expect anything better against Dan Quinn and that Dallas defense? I didn't think so either. I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game 24-10 over the Commanders.
I think the tally got some.
Dino, take your pick.
28-3 Cowboys.
Oh, what was that again?
28-6 Cowboys win.
Ooh.
Wow. He sees a blowout here.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, while we wait for Natalia to get back, I'm just going to say, I'm telling you, Micah Parsons is a front runner for a Defensive Player of the Year for the NFC after he won Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. He's just picking up where he left off last year. And that Cowboys defense, I mean, Dan Quinn is doing one hell of a job with that squad. I mean, what was it? 2 sacks on Tom Brady in Week 1. Oh, wait a minute. This I think
he had 6 sacks on Burrow. I think he had another 6 sacks on Daniel Jones last night. And 5 sacks on Daniel Jones.
Yeah, so two on Brady, 9 on Burrow, and 5. That's 16 sacks that the defense, all the Cowboys have already had. I mean, like I said, Dan Quinn should be considered an early favorite for Assistant Coach of the Year. Cooper Rush got his third victory. Only 2 other Cowboys have won their first 3 games. That was Roger Staubach and the other quarterback. I think you know who it is. That clapper, Jason Garrett. So, but is there going to be a controversy? I don't know, because they're saying that Dak could come back this week against the Commanders. All I gotta say about that is don't rush it. And I mean no pun intended, don't rush it, okay? Just let him heal up. I mean, he's gonna be taking some throwing practice sometime this week, checking out the thumb and the hand, see if it's good, but I wouldn't rush it. But either way, Carson Wentz, I think, is just becoming almost a shell of what he used to be, if he ever was. So I'm obviously going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to give them, let's call this one Give me the Cowboys to win this one by 31-24.
Natalie,
Yeah, Natalie, what you got, bro?
Dallas,
Yeah,
Washington.
Yep. Yeah, I picked Washington last time to hand the Eagles their first loss. That definitely did not happen. I'm not making that same mistake twice. It's going to be more than a 3-point spread, way more. Give me Dallas 24-14.
All right, so it looks like we are unanimous with the Cowboys. Uh, Interesting one in Detroit now. We got the Seattle Seahawks going into Ford Field to take on the Lions, and we have the Lions Flynn at 4.5 points.
Yeah, I think that what we learned from the Lions is they're going to be competing in every single game they play in this season. And Dan Campbell's really got something going on, and I appreciate his comments after the games, saying that they should have run the ball more. And they should have trusted his instincts more. But I think it's part of the deal of being an NFL head coach. But look, listen, the Seahawks have the worst quarterback situation in the league. They have a terrible defense. The Lions are explosive. I think Amon St. Brown gets back on track. It's going to be a fun game. I'll take the Lions to win this game 34-27 over the Seattle Seahawks.
All right, Flynn, Seahawks Lions. What do you say?
I think this one's actually going to be a lot closer than most people think. Yeah, I mean, St. Brown is dealing with an injury, but I think he'll be okay. I mean, Lions' defense is kind of wishy-washy, but the Seahawks' defense is far worse. So I'm going to take the Lions in this one, but it's still going to be a kind of a close one, 27-21.
Say Dino.
34-31. Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's another one, and I'm going with the Lions right here too because Seattle is a total shell of what they used to be. I mean, absolutely. I'm going to give it to the Lions. I got a close one here. I got the Lions winning this one by a score of 27-23. So I guess we're all with the Lions on that one. The next one I see here. We got the Los Angeles Chargers against the Houston Texans. That'll be at Energy Stadium down in Houston. And we have the Chargers. The Chargers at 4.5-point favorites. Flynn, is that you agree with me? That's kind of low, don't you think? Flynn, your mic is muted.
Whoops, sorry about that. I mean, I actually think it's a little high. I think it's going to be a field goal game here. I mean, one of the reasons the Chargers missed the playoffs was because they couldn't beat the Texans in Houston last year, and now the Chargers have a compromised Justin Herbert, who they clearly botched the Justin Herbert situation. Told you Justin Herbert was not 100%. He never should have played on Sunday.
They should have sat him.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Rashawn Slater is out for the season. Their star left tackle because of a season-ending injury in his lower body. So I think it's going to be a tough road for Austin Eckler on Sunday against the Texans. But I think you can argue the Texans are the worst team in the NFL. I think the Chargers get back on track. They improved to 2-2. They beat the Texans 19-16.
Doesn't sound like a real big score to write home about, but I digress. Natalie, what do you say for this interesting one?
Yeah. Despite the Chargers struggling, I think they're going to get back on track. As far as I know, Keenan Allen might be on his way back. I think Mike Williams will get his act together. Basically, the Chargers have more of the right pieces right now. Texans have essentially nothing. Although their running backs might be promising here and there, that's not going to be enough. I'm tempted to do this. I'm going to say, I think it's going to be at least a 2-score game. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make this my lock of the week. Chargers 31, Texans 16.
Ooh.
All
I'm going
right.
for it.
So John Itali's got his lock of the week right there. He's locking up the lightning bolts right there. Dino, what do you say for this?
I'm going for it.
17-10, Texans win.
Ooh.
Oh, first.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's no,
Upset special.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. All right, Tim. Unmute your mic and give us your pick.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I hope Justin Herbert is okay because he is one very talented quarterback who knows what he's doing when he's on the field. But not going to say this is going to be anything big, but I'm going to go with the lightning bolts on here. Give me the Chargers to take this one by a score of 23-19. So as Arnold used to say one time, "Go Chargers, go!" All right, next we have an interesting matchup in Carolina. The Panthers are at home against. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm looking. Oh, this is the one. This is going to be an interesting one. Probably the two top teams in the AFC South going at it. We got the Tennessee Titans going into Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Colts are 3.5 point favorites. So, Flynn, what do you say here?
Well, it's like Tim forgets that the Jaguars are 2-1, and Tennessee and Indy have 1 win each. But I thought the Colts. Give the Colts credit for taking down Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs on Sunday. They played a strong game defensively. I think Shaq Leonard coming back makes a big difference on that defense, which was non-existent against Davis Mills and Trevor Lawrence in the first 2 weeks of the season. Now him coming back is going to be a big deal for them. So, but it's a division game. Tennessee always plays Indy tough. That's a reason why the Titans were the 1 seed, was they were able to sweep the Colts away. So it's going to be a close game again. I'll take the Colts to win this game 27-24.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, this is one of those games that can go either way. I mean, I could definitely see both of these teams splitting the series, 1 win each. You're looking at 2-star running backs. You got Derrick Henry versus Jonathan Taylor. I mean, both defenses are pretty strong, but I got to go with the team that has the better defense. That's the Colts. And oddly enough, I have the same score as Flynn, but I have it going into overtime. That's the only difference that I have.
Oh, so we got Natalie taking this one to an overtime. Well, I can see why both teams equally matched here. They'll probably match each other neck and neck here. So, Dino, who do you see here?
31-28, Colts win.
31-28. That's another close one, and I'm going to. Although I do have Derrick Henry on my fantasy league here, yeah, you got to go with a slightly better defense. That would go to the Colts. I'm going to give the Colts the victory here. Give me Indianapolis to take down Tennessee, but not by much, 30-27.
So we all have the Colts winning and the Titans with the points. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much how good it's going to be. Now,
locking in the Colts.
Dino wants to lock in the Colts. Well, I guess we could do that right now. Dino is going to lock in the Colts, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we are going to go to our next game over in New York at MetLife Stadium, where the Giants are going to be taking on the visiting Chicago Bears. And for this one here, the home team Giants are picked by 3 points here. So, Flynn, do you see a bounce back for the G-Men?
Yeah, this is actually one of the games they're going to be talking about more in length on the critically acclaimed Hooked on Sports podcast. New episode recorded and released tomorrow. These are two teams that are going in the same direction. Both are 2-1. Both have new GMs. Both have new head coaches. Both teams have terrible salary cap situations. Both have bad rosters. So both have my top two choices for head coach. In when it came to the hiring process for the Giants, Brian Dable was who the Giants hired. Matt Eberflus was my number two, and each team is dealing with some huge deficiencies on the offense. I mean, the Giants received devastating news this morning as Sterling Shepard tore his ACL, meaning his season is officially over. So, but I think the Giants have the better defense. Wing Martindale is a gem, and he's going to call a great defensive game. But I think that and Ty can agree with me on this. So when he talks about this game, the Giants really missed Leonard Williams last night against the run. It would have been a completely different animal if Leonard Williams was in that game. So, but I think he'll be back. I'll take the Giants to win in a defensive game, 17-10 over the Bears.
All right, Natalie, your Giants bouncing back this week.
Yeah, possibly. I still I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I just wonder if Kayvon Thibodeau is going to have a much better performance compared to his debut last time. If I remember correctly, I think you only have like one tackle and one deflected pass, maybe.
I mean, it wasn't that much of an impact. I was a little disappointed in it, but give the Cowboys credit that they had better offensive line play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think Thibodeau is going to be much better on defense this time around. I think he might even get his first career sack. I got a feeling that's going to come. I think this time the offensive line is going to back up Daniel Jones. I had him running for his life. He was running for his life several times. So in this low-scoring affair, give me a very small point differential. The Giants win in a squeaker, 21-20.
Wow. That is a squeaker there. All right, Dino, who do you see here?
Yep. The Bears 28 and the Giants 17, and I think Justin Fields is going to have 4 touchdowns.
Wow. That is a very, very bold prediction. Wow. That's all I got to say about that. Anyway, I believe the Giants can bounce back, but of course, with the loss of Sterling Shepard, that's going to pretty much change the face of their receiving core for at least for now, anyway. But I'm going with a slightly better upgrade, even though both teams have kind of upgraded from last season. But I'm going to go ahead and take the G-Man here. Give me a score of 27-20. I'm going to take the Giants at home. And we're now going to go to Philadelphia. And those 3-0 undefeated Chickens, it looks like they may have a field day with this one, but I don't know, because Jacksonville has been kind of surprising teams as of late. Jaguars going into Philadelphia against the Eagles, and the Eagles really good 6.5-point favorites here. So 3-0. Flynn, do I hear 4?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a terrific game, and I think this was the game where Trevor Lawrence announced himself as he's arrived in the NFL. That game against the Chargers was his welcome to the NFL moment. He was dominant, he was tough, and he overwhelmed a Chargers defense that's full of stars. But I think when it comes to this game, I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFL going into Week 4. They would be number 1 on my power rankings because you look at the combination of the balance on offense, when you look at the defense, when you look at their ability to get after the quarterback. So this is going to be a different animal. This is by far the toughest task that the Eagles have had to face because of the obviously the Doug Peterson revenge effect. Christian Kirk and Zay Jones making a huge difference for the Jaguars passing attack. And Trevor Lawrence looks like a completely different quarterback than he did last year. So I'll take the Eagles to win the game 34-30, but I'm going to grab the points here and take the Jaguars plus 6.5.
Okay, Natalie.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good game. Both offenses are going to put up some big points. I think it's actually going to come down to the last possession of the game. But as much as I want to see the Eagles lose, I don't see it happening. It's just hard to beat the Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown combo. Jacksonville's going to get the ball last, but they're going to fail to score. It's going to end with a turnover on downs. Give me the Eagles 30-22.
Hmm.
All right. So, Dino, where are you seeing this going?
28-27, Eagles win.
Close one.
Ooh, another 1 point
Missed
differential.
extra point.
A missed extra point. Oh,
Ooh.
Ooh.
And that would be the top story in the papers on Monday.
Dino coming out guns a-blazing tonight. Excuse me, folks. That one kind of got me there.
I think Tim needs a doctor because
No, I think I need to finish this here. I need maybe a little cold coffee bit here, but hey, it's still coffee.
is there a doctor now? So wait, there isn't. Here.
And he was a doctor. And the last of the 1 p.m. Eastern games that we're covering is the New York Jets against the hometown Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are picked by 3, but I'd say as long as Trubisky is in there, I don't know, Flynn.
What was your score again for the Philly game? Did you give it to us?
The Philadelphia game, yeah. Oh, yeah, I have to give my score. It's not going to be as close as Dino said, but I'm going to give it to the Chickens. Give it a win for the Chickens, despite the fact that Jacksonville is going to try to stay in this thing. But give me the Chickens, 30-20. Fly Chickens fly.
30-20.
30-20.
All right.
So now we can move on to the Jets and the Steelers. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a snooze fest. I mean, the Steelers are not doing anything special this season because of how they are offensively and how challenged they are. Yeah, but I just think this is such a one-sided matchup that favors the Steelers. Look, I know TJ Watt is not available, obviously, but I just think the Steelers are going to overwhelm Zach Wilson in his season debut. I'll take the Steelers to win this game 21-9.
21-9. Ooh, Natalie, what do you say?
Yeah, I actually see this game being very close. I just wonder if how much longer Mitchell Trubisky is going to remain quarterback. I think it might be time to give Kenny Pickett a shot eventually if they don't get their act together.
Yeah, would totally start Kenny Pickett at some point in time. I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm. However, I think that right now this is not the time. I think he's going to bounce back, but barely. Just give me probably I would anticipate if they don't get their act together, I would say by week 6 or 7, we'll see Kenny Pickett. But for this game coming up this Sunday, I'm just going to take the Steelers 23-20.
Okay, Dino.
I'm taking the Jets. 17-10.
Oh my goodness! Oh, you gotta sound the alarm again. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Yeah, 17-10. I mean, good luck with all of that.
Yeah, maybe if they bench Nabisky, maybe then.
Come on! All right.
There we go.
I was waiting that thing.
Maybe they'll win.
Here. Actually, Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh is not very good, but neither are the Jets. And for that reason, I'm just going to. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this one by a score of 28-24. So now we go into the late afternoon games. We're starting with the one I started with before we talked about the Titans and the Colts. The Panthers are at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Panthers picked by 2. Lynn.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a team that's going to be predicated on the defenses, and I think the Panthers showed something with their defense that we didn't see the first couple of weeks, and that was a comprehensive game plan against the football team, and the Cardinals have a similar situation now. Now they played Arizona tough, and I give them a lot of credit for how they played defensively, but I'm just concerned about the Cardinals' ability to stop the run, and particularly Christian McCaffrey. I think this is a good matchup for Christian McCaffrey go up against a suspect Arizona run defense. I think the Panthers are going to win this game on the backs of Christian McCaffrey and their defense. They'll win this game 19-10 over Arizona.
All right, Natalie, we got this one here.
Yeah, I actually think this game is going to be closer than a lot of us think. Both teams are kind of struggling. However, I mean, there are some bright sides each way. Ertz is having a nice bounce back. Panthers they kind of have a spark of life here and there. It's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to the final possession. But to sum up who I think is going to win, here it comes. I think Flynn knows what I'm going to be doing here. Oops.
Yeah, doing the Carolina Panthers bringing the pain. Yep, what you scored?
31-24.
Interesting. High scoring game.
Oh, you see the high scoring game with this one, going with the Panthers on that. Dino.
I'm going with Arizona 31-28.
31-28 going with Arizona here. Very interesting here. I don't see that big of a game here. Won't be too big on as far as points are concerned. I'm just going to go ahead and take the hometown Panthers. They're going to win by I'll probably say a field goal within the last 5 minutes of the game. Carolina gets a game-winning field goal, and they'll take it by a score 20-17. That's basically how I see that one. Now we got what used to be a great matchup, but since the star quarterback left town, it's not as bright. It is the New England Patriots against the Green Bay Packers, and this is the highest spread of the week, Flynn. Packers, 10.5.
Yeah, I mean, who is exactly going to be the Patriots starting quarterback this week? Because Mac Jones suffered a high ankle sprain, and it looks like he's going to be out for a while. So Brian Hoyer is going to start this game for the Patriots. Hoyer. Yeah, I think the Packers are still the team. I think that's going to come out of the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. I'll take the Packers to win this game 24-6, and that, my friend Tim McClelland, is my lock of the week.
All right, so Flynn is going to be locking up the Panthers this week.
The Packers.
Or the Packers. I meant Packers. All right, let's go ahead and see what Natalie has to say about this one.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that Mac Jones injury. I probably should have made that my lock of the week, but that's all right, no biggie. But yeah, clearly the Packers are the better team, so it's going to be at least a 2-score game. So let's just go with 31-15.
31-15 Packers.
Yeah.
All right, Dino.
31-10 Packers win, and I think they're going to New England's going to throw 4 interceptions.
31-10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
All right.
And of course, I'm going to make this unanimous here. Brian Hoyer starting. When was the last time Brian Hoyer started a game? Was it in Cleveland or was it? I can't remember where that guy was. This 10.5. I think 10.5 of this. I think is a little not as generous as I would want it to be. I'd probably put a little bit more. I ain't no chance of this one. Patriots are going to get shot down in flames. That bad man is going to have a field day all over these boys. Give me the Packers by a score of 38-10. And I too am going to lock up the Packers for this week. I'll do that as well. Next, we have an AFC West matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are undefeated, but they are 2.5-point favorites in this one, Flynn.
Maybe defeated rather than undefeated is a good description for this.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna get killed for this. I'm taking the Broncos. I'm going to take the Broncos because they have the better quarterback and they have the better defense. The Raiders are 0-3, and don't tell anybody that they should be surprised by that. I mean the coach is bad, the owner is bad, and the way they lost that game to Tennessee in a battle of 0-2 teams, which it's just unacceptable by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going to take the Broncos in an upset special, 21-17 over the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right, Natalie, what do you say about that one?
Yeah, this was actually a close one. This one can go either way, but I honestly, when I saw both their schedules on paper, I was anticipating a split in the series. I'm going to give the narrowest of advantages to the home team. Raiders get their first win of the season, but the Broncos will cover the spread, 23-21.
Interesting call. That's very interesting take.
Very interesting indeed. Dino, what do you call this one? I mean, how do you call it?
34-31. Raiders win.
Going with the Raiders as well.
All right. Is Flynn the lone wolf or is Tim splitting?
Oh man, this is going to be kind of tough for me because I think it's going to be tough. I mean, Russell Wilson, I think it's kind of iffy right now with that Bronco offense right now, and whereas the Raiders are kind of terrible, but
At least
I can see a pretty good game from Josh Jacobs in this one. I've always admired him since he came into the league. I'm going to go ahead and give the Raiders their first win of the year, although it's going to be kind of a close one here. Late field goal. Why don't we call it 24-21? I'll go ahead and give the Raiders their first win. Although I'm not really too confident about it, but we'll just see what happens. Sunday night, we have a rematch of Super Bowl 55. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going into Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. And the Chiefs are actually coming in as 2-point favorites. Flynn that looks like a misprint to me.
Yes, the Chiefs are favored by 2 points in this game. I looked up the odds to double check that, but yes, the Chiefs are 2-point favorites in this game. And I mean, if you watch these two teams over the last 2 weeks, you'll know why the Chiefs are favored by 2. I mean, this Bucs offense. I know they're without Mike Evans, they're without Chris Godwin. They were broken until Tom Brady led them down the field until a delay of game penalty ruined the whole thing. The Bucks lost that game because of illegal procedure. I mean, how do you lose that game because of illegal procedure? Now, the Bucks have a much more favorable matchup because Kansas City's defense is suspect, and they just lost the game on a game-winning touchdown to Matt Ryan and the Colts. But I think the Chiefs come into this game with a better head coach and a better quarterback. Now, I think Tampa's defense is better in this one, but I think that this is only the regular season. So by the law of attraction, Brady wins in the playoffs. Mahomes wins in the regular season. Chiefs 24, Bucks 20.
All right, Natalie, this is a good Sunday night matchup. What do you see?
Yeah, this one was actually the hardest one for me to pick. I've been going back and forth on this one. This one could really go either way. I mean, I kind of see a slugfest here, very similar to my Ravens and Bills prediction, although not quite that many points in total. But I think this one's going to be pretty similar. And I actually have a very unique score here. Like we don't use this word very often,
Scoregami.
if at all. Yeah. If anybody tries it, it's typically me. And I just looked it up, and this is if this result happens, it's the first time in history it's going to happen. After going back and forth in this one, I mean, I can't see Brady losing 2 games in a row. He rarely does. So, based on that, I got to take the Bucks at home. It's hard for me to pick against the home team. 39-37.
Ooh, that's a good score.
Ooh, wow.
And I got a score, and that's I looked it up.
A slugfest in the making there. Dino, do you see it that way?
I'm going with Kansas City 28-21 in overtime.
So 7, you can't win in overtime by 7, so like 27-21 in overtime. Yeah. Because you can win by either 3 or 6 in overtime.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but regardless, he has the Chiefs winning and covering, and that's the bottom line here. Mm-hmm. Tim, make your pick.
Oh boy, yeah. You go with Patrick Mahomes, but every time I pick against Tom Brady, I am always proven wrong. I mean, I don't know why it is. I mean, I don't know why, but I just like Natalie says, Brady never really loses 2 games in a row, and I can't really see why he would lose 2 games in a row. This is going to be an offensive slugfest, but in the end, it's a late field goal for the Bucks. I'm giving it to Tampa Bay, even though I love Patrick Mahomes, even though he's an East Texas native. And I got to give it to the Bucks 33-30. This is my game of the week here. So, I'll definitely be watching Sunday Night Football on NBC. What do we got here? Oh, someone wants to say hello.
The Tony J 12672.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Tony J?
We love our Twitch audience.
Yes, we do. We love everybody out there watching us on YouTube and Twitch. So, hey, spread the word around, tell your friends, and hopefully we can build our audience. Of course, thanks to our technical director, Irene Neighbor, for kind of helping out with the Twitch side of it. So, y'all keep watching, and well, we only got like one more game to talk about. A big NFC West matchup to round out the week on Monday Night Football, ESPN. We have the LA Rams taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And the home team Niners are 2-point favorites. So, Flynn, big one under the lights.
I love the Rams this week. The 49ers just lost the best left tackle, and maybe the best offensive lineman in pro football. For a significant period of time because of an ankle injury, and that's a really big deal because everything San Francisco does offensively in the last couple of years has been predicated on a healthy Trent Williams, and now he's not going to be available for the foreseeable future. Oh, and by the way, two of the games he's going to miss are against the Rams, the team they're chasing in the division. So, and I think the 49ers offense is not going to function against Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and Leonard Floyd and that defense. I think the Rams are going to win this game 23-17.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, this one is another tough one. This one can go either way. It's like this is weird. Like 2 games in a row, the Sunday night and the Monday night. 2 games that can go either way.
Yeah, for you, the 2 toughest games of the week to pick for you.
Mm-hmm. And then honorable mention the Ravens and the Bills. Those were the top 3.
So yeah, my hardest was Browns Falcons.
Oh wow, interesting. And as far as this game, it can go either way. Both defenses are about equal, and both same with the offense. They're very hard to compare because everybody is so good. Both teams are stacked. I think it's all going to come down to in the end who gets the last position, and I think San Francisco is going to get the ball with a couple minutes left. Both teams win in the last game, 31-20.
So 31-28, you said?
Yeah, yep, in favor of San Francisco.
All right, because you
kind of hard to pick against them at home. I think they could split the series.
Yeah, because you were cutting out until you gave us that score.
Yeah,
Right.
So Natalie's got 31-28 in favor of the Niners. Dino, what do you say?
24-21 49ers.
Okay, looks like I still don't think Jimmy G is the answer in San Francisco now that Trey Lance is out for the season.
Maybe they can trade for Jordan Love.
Oh.
I don't know, but my final score in this one is 27-24. Give me the Rams. This is my upset special of the week.
All right. So then, what are the solo picks? Fine.
Yeah, I will do that because I have that. So the places where we're going solo, Dino has Miami over Cincinnati. Natalie has the Saints. Let's see. Dino has Atlanta. Dino has Houston. Dino has the Bears.
4.
Dino has the Jets.
5.
Dino has the Cardinals.
6.
Wow.
I have Denver. And we split on the other 2.
Okay, yeah. So Tim's not solo on anything then.
Yeah, right.
Jeez. So yeah, you and me each have 1. Daniel has 6.
No, I have 1.
Jeez.
Wow, Dino is really a lone wolf here this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's almost a third of the games. Pretty much.
More than a third of the games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, more than a third. Yeah.
More than a
It's
third.
37.5%.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
I guess with that, we are going to go ahead and close up shop for this week. Y'all don't forget, John Flynn's got his latest episode of Hooked on Sports going down tomorrow. Isn't that right?
I think John Flynn's team's going to lose this week.
it's a Putnam.
Uh-oh. That's our big fantasy matchup to watch for John Flynn against Alex Putnam here.
Yep, a battle of unbeatens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my other league, I had the 2. Me and my opponent were the 2 highest scoring teams, but I lost because Darrell Henderson only gave me 1.7 points.
Yeah, I have him in another league.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. But the bottom line is I'm 2-1. I'm still in a good position to be one of the top teams in the league.
Unfortunately for me in that league, it didn't matter. The one that I have Henderson in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and close up shop. Thanks for watching us on Facebook and on Twitch. Remember, check the links in the description section so you can listen to Hooked on Sports with John Flynn. He's got a new one coming out tomorrow, so y'all be sure to catch that. And we'll be back here next week, same time, same place. So Flynn, thanks for joining me, bro. As always.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on, Tim.
Thank you, Commish, John Natale.
Of course.
Dino, come back and see us if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and close things up. So y'all enjoy week 4 in the NFL. We're going to enjoy our fantasy teams, and we got a lot of changes. I know I got a lot of changes to make. So wait a minute. Get those lights again, Natal. Flynn, hit those lights again. We just got to see that one more time. Yeah, he's got those lights going right there. So, all righty. Well, speaking of lights, it's going to be lights out right now. For John Flynn, John Natale, our man Dino, our technical director, Irene Neighbor, we love you. My name's Tim McClellan. Thanks for joining us. God bless you. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.